Welcome back everyone to another unboxing and review. Today we'll be discussing a collaboration done with Adidas and Sean Wotherspoon. This is a brand new silhouette that I will be unboxing. We've never done this on the channel. These are called the Orketros and this is in the off-white colorway. Let's take a quick sneak peek. Welcome back everyone to another unboxing and review. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. Today we'll be discussing a collaboration with Sean Wotherspoon and Adidas on the Orketro silhouette. This is in the off-white colorway. You may have seen some pictures already leaked with Sean actually holding a couple pairs of the silhouette, but in different colorway options. So stay tuned for those brighter tones to release later this year. But today we have a bit more of a subdued, toned down color scheme, which I feel like with Sean, he typically does tend to shift and veer towards brighter pops of color. So this is pretty interesting to actually have a more minimalistic color scheme going on here. So we'll go through the overview of these, jump into size and fit, followed by how I styled this really easy toned color scheme. And then we'll conclude with how these are currently doing on the resale market. So let's jump right into it. Sean has really, I feel like this year been vibing with vintage. As you've probably seen, he did do a collaboration with Gap that was vintage focused, and now he has actually started his own vintage apparel line. So it kind of makes sense that this sneaker has some 90s inspired aesthetics to it. But this is a 90s inspired runner sneaker. Again, first time we've done this specific silhouette on the channel. Was really excited to actually test these out to see how these felt on foot. And I will say they are quite comfortable. Definitely a little bit of a chunkier silhouette. As far as the upper goes, it's pretty much covered in lots of different types of canvas. So as far as Sean Wotherspoon's branding goes, it's very minimal in this green color scheme, and that's pretty much the only colorway that you actually see present throughout this silhouette. The laces are very muted and blend perfectly in that off-white cream tone. And then underneath, we've got the actual name of the silhouette, Orketro in cream, again, keeping it very minimalistic where it's pretty much camouflaged in there. And then we've got Sean Wotherspoon's logo here, which is in a nice, simple white tone. We do have some other lace options. The tips of these also are green. So pretty much that's, again, the only color you're really gonna see on this besides the stitch SW for Sean Wotherspoon on the front of the toe box. But we do get an extra pair of laces, and it looks like it's the same exact tone as the lace set that you already have. So I guess if you get these ones dirty, you have a separate pair that you can add in. All right, so let's take a look at those details, then move along to the side paneling. Wrapping around to the side paneling, we've got some really cool stitching going on here. So though it is very minimalistic in tone, it does look very vintage and kind of worn. So we've got different stitching patterns throughout, going different directions. And then as we wrap around to the back, that's where you're getting a bit more of that canvas, simplistic material on the back. It actually kind of reminds me of a lot of Stussie's collaborations that they've done with Nike. I feel like this actually is reminiscent of that fossil colorway. Inside, we do have that cork insole, which is pretty common with most of Sean Wotherspoon's sneakers. I feel like he always does decide to go with that cork structure for the insole. And we do have that logo for Sean Wotherspoon on the interior in white and green. As we work our way down to the midsole, we're still sticking with that kind of cream tone. We've got the Adidas logo on two different parts of the sneaker, as well as the back here. And then as we work our way to the bottom of the sneaker, I do love that they've added just a nice light toned gum bottom outsole. It really just makes the sneaker very natural in tone. All right, let's take a look at all of those details and then move into sizing. As far as sizing goes, I would say stick true to size in this. I went with a 7.5. Again, I do have high arch, narrow feet, so depending on whether or not you have flat or wider feet, that could actually differentiate from my own since we have different types of feet. So take that into consideration when deciding on what size range you want to go with. All right, so now let's jump into styling. Again, this is just an everyday sneaker. If you're looking for a great tone and you don't necessarily want to do white or black, I feel like this is a very great option. Again, it's that fossil off-white kind of eggshell tone, which I feel like is complementary all year round. So for the first look, I decided to go with an actual all Adidas look. Shout out to my Adidas family for hooking me up with some basketball pieces. So this was a green mint velour sweatsuit. So I had a matching set. I feel like mint colors go perfect with this. Pastel colors will go with this specifically for the summer and springtime. And then for the second look, I decided to dress up a little bit with a more of a monochromatic look. So I went all cream. I wore a sheer cropped long sleeve blouse with a matching maxi pleated skirt that was cream. So definitely something more simple and minimalistic, which is definitely a trend right now. So if you're somebody who wants to dress the sneaker up, that's definitely an option. Last and final look, I decided to wear a cream button-down blazer that was textured with a matching pair of pants, also with a great texture, which I feel like was complementary towards the textures used throughout this sneaker. All right, now let's talk about how much these are going for on the retail market. So these retailed at $160. They're currently going slightly under that retail price point. So if you missed out on the initial drop of these, definitely keep an eye out for them. I think that this is a great starter sneaker if you're looking for something that's going to be an everyday sneaker that's very comfortable, as you can kind of see too. Didn't mention this in the overview, but there is some additional padding on the back here, which is very nice on the back of your heel. It really just kind of hugs your ankles perfectly. All right, everyone, that is it for this unboxing and review. If you joined us for the first time, thank you so much. My name is Marissa Hill. This is Shade TV. We will catch you all on the next episode.
No amount of nothing that can replace. I remember dreaming, rolling up just to get away.